Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Paranormal Partners in Crime. I am Daniel. Let me go ahead and change my name. I don't think you should know my whole government name like this, although this is episode 2 and it's already happened. But hi, I'm V. This is my mom. Mom, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Kathy. Maybe I should say C. No, I'm just joking.
I'm gonna change her name too because you don't need to know that that's a lot of information for the internet to know.
Oh
But
my
well,
God.
today we are actually going to get into some of the gifts on my grandma's side of the family. So my mom's mom, I feel like they have the coolest gifts. And so my granddaddy used to always say like her side of the family is witchy. I think he was just jealous because they had a cooler gift. So if you ask, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And so like last week you heard about my mom's gifts, and so since she didn't quite do the homework.
Why you gotta throw me under the bus?
But because she does talk to that side of the family a lot, she knows a lot of the gifts. So we're gonna go with the gift that I know about on that side of the family that I think is really, really cool, which is the speaking the fire.
Yes.
So explain how that gift works or works.
Okay. What I know about that gift is if you burn yourself, anything with heat, fire. I have a cousin, not saying a name, but I have a cousin that.
She gonna say the name before it's over with.
No, I'm not. I have a cousin, if you burn yourself, get hurt by fire, that person is able to touch you and take the heat, the burn out of it, no matter how bad the burn is.
So I wasn't sure because the last time I talked to that person, I wasn't sure, and I want to confirm: does this person still do this, or did they stop?
I don't think they've stopped. I don't think they've stopped. Argus just hit me.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
a
think
wrap.
they've. I don't think that they've stopped at all. But I'm gonna tell you something that I have noticed, that that person has removed themselves from the area that they were raised in. So I'm wondering if it's for for those reasons.
Because I remember that person said that like when they were growing up, like people would be coming and bringing their
Yes,
family members to them to do this thing.
yes.
Yeah, and but that was like when they were young.
No, well, into their 40s.
Okay, and how old are they now?
Oh, what's this say? 70?
Oh, really?
I
They look
know they don't look
on
like it,
crack.
but
On
yep. You
crack.
know what? You so silly.
Okay. So how did they first find out they had this gift? Do you know?
I don't know, but you know that that person was born. Oh Lord, they're sorry. You know, here something running across the highway. This is Florida,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
but but that person was born with a veil on their face. You know that when when children were born at home back then, or you had a midwife that was in tune with gifts, they would they would take the veil off of the child's face and do something spiritual or with
Mm.
it, you know. But that person was born with a veil on their
And so I'm just
face.
gonna put this out here. I feel like on grandma's side of the family, and I could be wrong because grandma only had one brother, but I feel like the women have all the gifts.
Well, my brother has his.
Yes, and he's terrified of it. But I feel like
Yes.
also though, but that's a double dose because like grandma's family has it and granddaddy's family has
Okay.
it.
All right.
That's why like I almost feel like, do we know anyone else like any of the other guys? Don't say no names on grandma's side of the family who has it.
I don't know because they don't talk about it.
So they could have it, but they just don't say nothing.
Correct.
Okay, so that's my favorite gift that I think is like something very unique that you don't keep
Yes.
every day. Do you know another like gift for that side of the family?
There is they're they're related to the family, but the coolest gift that I know you're gonna remember this when I tell you. It was the when Mama was little, there was a old man that she said that was covered with moles,
Hmm.
and she had a mole on her body, and her mama or daddy took her to him and said, you have to pay him, that he will buy your mole from you.
I remember that. So like that's kind of like a sin eater.
It's a what?
That's similar to a sin eater.
I've
So
never heard of that.
yeah, so like sin eaters kind of do the same thing, but yeah, so he would buy your So was that a gift or was he more like a witch doctor?
I don't know.
Did he only do that with like moles and stuff like that?
That is the one thing that she told us. And she said as a kid, she was like, I think she
But
sold it to him
why?
for like
Wait,
a pen.
but
Huh?
why are you moving that much? Where are y'all
Because
going?
we're going home. Remember, we had to pick up
Ma,
the
you like
walk.
in a jeep driving down the back roads of Australia. What is happening? All I see is the camera moving like that. Ma,
No, I'm going in the house. The back roads of Australia.
that's what I'm like. What is happening? I know where you live. It's not like that at all. Okay,
Yes,
so
it is going up the road. Okay.
so it was only moles that she told you that he bought back, or is it just anything on the body?
Like any growth on your body. I got.
Interesting. And so you said he was covered in them,
Yes.
and he only charged a penny.
Well, okay, come on. It was the 40s. How much money you think black people had back then? At least
You
them.
need to give me at least a nickel. This is a forever situation. Or you pay me a penny once a week for like a certain amount of time. Like
No, that's what it was. It was, I think it could have been a nickel, but I'm pretty sure it was a penny.
that is wild.
Hold on, let me, I'm going to the room.
Okay. Oh, why is your
And
house dark? You are giving me the perfect scary movie. And when they be like, why the house dark? This is somebody talking about your house right now.
well, I listen, Linda, listen.
And then you one
I
in a room with a snake in it.
No, I'm not in the room with the snake. I'm in the
Oh,
room with the big. Really?
the
You got
big
to pick
dog.
my. I'm where the fish and the big dog. I mean, if somebody saw the crate that Argus is in, they would probably think we were kidnapping people because the
Okay, so
crate is huge.
I promise you they're
Anyway,
not kidnapping people. This went left real quick. They're not kidnapping people. The snakes are my dad who doesn't even believe in the witchy stuff that we be doing. He'd be like, we are not, that's y'all. That's definitely y'all.
I know, because I told him. I know, I told him. I said when me and Daniel go to some places, I said, I are you gonna go with us? I'm gonna be in the hotel. Bye.
Yeah.
I ain't going to them places with y'all.
Someone on TikTok was like, I was asking about paranormal places, and she's a paranormal investigator. But someone else was like, how does your dad feel about this? I said he supports us from afar, a very far. He was talking about the room.
She said somebody was asking her, how does your dad feel about it? She said he supports us from afar, very far.
So okay, so the man with the mole. Who else?
Hmm.
What are the gifts
Right.
of the sisters? No
Um,
names.
I'm tr- I'm trying. Um,
You can say their profession. So the school teacher, what was her? The school teacher that I had.
yes. I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I am almost positive that and I know this sounds like the sixth sense, that she was able to see dead people. honestly,
Okay.
because I think that was one of
I
the
think they
reasons.
all can.
I think they all can also,
Hmm.
because I also think that that was also okay. So this is my analogy or whatever. Some people can handle it
Hmm.
without losing it,
Hmm.
and some people can't.
I can understand that. Like I told you what I experienced today at work.
Right.
Yeah.
But how did you know? Did she tell you who she was talking to?
No. So I was in the student lounge with my class today because I just like being in the classroom. So some of them was outside, some of them were in the student lounge. And I was sitting by this student who is unhoused, and they kept talking to themselves. And I realized they didn't have anything in their ear, and their phone was charging beside them. So they were not on the phone. And I knew that because the phone would ring, they would answer the phone, they would talk to the person on the phone. So they were in their right mind. So when they were talking to the person on the phone, they gave information about their mom's house being in a different state, and that's where they sometimes get their mail and they sometimes live. So then when I got the phone, because the person was saying, I'll send you this letter to your mom's house. And this person was saying, no, 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 email it to me. So when I got the phone, they were talking to nobody again, and they were like, "Can you believe this man wanted to have a letter sent to your house? I don't want him all under your business like that." And then they responded to themselves and said, "Girl, thank you, because I did not want that person sending stuff to my house either." Like, but I already know how you are about your house, and so I realized by this, I had been 2 hours sitting by this person because my class is 3 hours long. It was two classes. So I'd heard, and they told me about this other. I was eavesdropping. They didn't tell me I was eavesdropping. They was talking about this other girl who like somebody hit her in the back, and the mom was like, "I told her to quit hanging out with that person. I told her too, but she don't be listening to us." So like that's who
They're
it was.
actually having they're actually having a conversation.
Both, and I'm hearing both sides. And it was interesting because they were actually saying you when it was the mom talking. The mom was like, "You said blah 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 blah," and she's like, "Yeah, ma, that's what I said." And so like she was responding from her perspective, but then the mom would say you in third person. Now, I find that interesting because when I do spirit writing, I will notice sometimes I am addressing myself as you.
Okay.
So, like, that's when I was like, oh, snap. But what made this interesting and what made me not think of it being DID, which is dissociative personality disorder,
Yes.
dissociative identity disorder, or schizophrenia, is because she still acknowledged everyone around her.
Mm-hmm.
She answered on the phone, had complete conversations,
Okay.
um, but she was only talking to one other person, and that
Okay.
changed the game to me because typically with schizophrenia they see multiple people or they're arguing, they're combating. She's just having a regular conversation with her mom. And so I was talking to my therapist about it because I was intrigued. My therapist knows how I am. Everywhere is a science experiment. I'm like, ooh, say less. So I'm just like trying to grade papers, but I'm also eavesdropping. And so I was like, oh, cool. And my therapist like, or it can be like, this is her way of grieving her mom.
Yes. That's what I was
So
thinking.
yeah, so there's all these things. But like her and her mom talked nonstop for 3 hours. And like she made food in this because they had like a microwave. She made noodles that looked so good. I'm eating noodles for dinner because they just look so good. But she made noodles. She was there all day, like literally just talking and hanging out. And I was like, just talk like all day. And I was like, oh, this is a good. It reminded me of your conversations. We just be talking about everything and nothing.
Right.
So, and she is a year younger than your spouse. So she's
Yes.
older. So
Okay.
that's what I thought was very interesting. But yeah, so I can definitely understand. So outside of that gift, do you think that the school teacher who taught me had another gift?
I don't I don't know. Oh, let's talk about
The school
let's
teacher that's mean?
no.
Oh, you don't think
I don't even know if she had a gift besides being mean. But anyway, and nobody would know who that person was. But anyway,
everybody listen to it? That's a no. It's like, yeah, we know her. She ain't had no gift. She was just mean.
she's just mean all the time. I mean, okay, so how about the one male cousin in the family that died? So when he died, he was only like 17, 18, getting ready to go to a military academy that people
I
don't
don't know
go.
him.
Yes, well, you don't know him, but you have heard of him. And
Okay.
I can't say names,
Yeah, yeah.
but anyway.
I like how
So
you're like we're not gonna talk after this. My like I can't tell you who it is. I'm gonna know who it is.
can't
Okay.
say names, but when okay, he was just, you ever meet somebody that everybody love when they first meet them
Mhm.
for just, I mean, just big smile, happy. He
Mhm.
reminds you of, he reminds you of the cousin that had the gift of speaking fire, that has the gift of
Mhm.
speaking fire. Always
Mhm.
happy, always cheerful, just big smile, just friendly as sweet as they can be.
Mhm.
Okay, so like a week or two before he passed, he had gotten into I want to say it was like the Citadel, and
Mhm.
that was like a big thing, a really big deal.
It still
And
is.
it really was. I mean, you know, and he told them that he thought that he was going to die, that he had seen his death. So
Mm.
he did not go anywhere the weekend before he died. He got his hair cut. He had his nails. He that, because it was such a big family. I know that somebody, I can't remember because I was 12, but he
Mhm.
said that or maybe a little bit younger, but he like clipped his nails.
So he was basically preparing for his funeral.
Yes, and he told his mother, "You won't let me wear this black shirt to church. Will, if I ever die, will you at least let me be buried in it?"
Mm.
And they said he didn't go anywhere, didn't leave their little area.
Mhm. And mind
Um,
you, our family's from another small town.
yes,
So the small town black people,
yes.
we witchy.
So, so it was a small town, and he stayed around, hung out with the family all weekend long, and that Monday morning on the way to work was hit by a pulpwood truck.
Mm. Who in Morse code, whose child was he?
The oldest one that
Okay. I
the
got
oldest one.
you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And I remember I remember, we didn't have a phone.
Mhm.
So I was in the kitchen with mama, and but all that weekend I kept telling her, "Mama, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die really close to us. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die." And she was just like, "Well, just name, there's old people in the family." And I was like, "Somebody's going to die." And get this. And we were cooking, and I spilled hot grease on my hand.
Mhm.
So I had like a blister on two of my fingers. And Miss Eva came across the road and said, "Doc, you have a phone call." And when she said that, it's like my heart dropped. It's
Mhm.
almost like, this is what, in your head, when you're like, this is what this feeling has been
Mhm. Mhm.
the whole time. So she came back and she said, "This person has died."
Mhm.
And I was devastated because I used to love going there in the summer. Listen, if anybody could have a crush on their cousin, I had a crush on my cousin because he was just
Probably just so
so,
cool.
yes, he was just so cool. He was older, not really, but he was older, but he would play with us, you
Mhm.
know, the whole thing. And I remember Daddy was like, told mama, "You can go, but I'm gonna keep the kids." And I just, we never went against what Daddy said. I was like,
I mean,
he,
but I don't think you realize they probably just couldn't afford it to send everybody.
yes. And
Mhm.
so, but I
But
still
you ain't
said,
care. You was like, I should still have been there.
yeah, and I did. I said, "I need to be there." I said, out of all my cousins, I love him the most. And so they made it.
Because that has changed. She now loves y'all equally.
Yeah. But that was like a kid,
Mhm.
because but anyway, so they made arrangements, and went me and mama went to Georgia for the funeral.
Okay.
It's a shame that I don't know anybody. I don't know if anybody else went besides me and mama.
Because that you weren't there for anybody else.
No.
That's not
But
important.
when I got there, like I said, I had the big blisters on my hand, and that one cousin, mama mama came and got me and told me to go in there. And what they did is to calm me down. They were talking. I guess at the time they thought that I knew more about our gifts,
Mhm.
because what they said was, and I want to say, like, all of the cousins that were around that age, or maybe they were all together in his room, because that in their, well, you don't know, in their house, the parents had a room, all the girls slept in a room, and
Mhm.
he had like a little cut that could have been like the size of now somebody's walk-in closet.
Mhm.
So he was the only boy, so he could have his own privacy.
Mhm.
And we were all sitting in the back of the room, and she had my hand in her in her hand, and she was talking to me, and she was saying that Thomas has already come to visit them. She said that
He just said the name.
oh,
I
fud
knew it was gonna happen. Keep going. He dead anyway.
fudge sickles, but that he had come to visit them, the one cousin. And she said, I saw a light. And she said the light was in the room, and it went out to the living room. She said, and I followed it. Everybody was still asleep in the house.
Mhm.
And he told them that he was fine.
Mhm.
Don't worry about it. Um, to take his insurance policy, fix mama's house. He was just telling her
What to do with everything.
what to do with everything.
Mhm.
And they stuck to what he said.
Mhm. So the reason I think the whole family can see the
Is
dead is not only that story, but remember when our favorite aunt who was closest to grandma died,
oh my
and then she
gosh.
called the sisters after
Yes.
her death, and they were all
Yes.
on the phone listening to her sing,
Yes.
and they were
Yes.
like, "We're good now. She has passed over."
Yes.
So that's why I think like we all, well, they all have the gift of seeing, but I think we
Yes.
all have the gift of like hearing, acknowledging, because they
Yes.
listen to her sing on the phone. Because all of the sisters can. I'm the only woman in like 5 generations that can't sing naturally. So I'm gonna put that out there. But all of the sisters can sing or could sing. They're all gone now. All of this except for like two. All of the sisters can sing. And so whenever this aunt, the favorite aunt, passed,
Yes.
she,
We were just talking about her in the family chat last week, because it was her birthday. Isn't it funny that,
oh,
and everybody was saying like what they remembered, and I was just like, she was the best.
mhm.
She was. I don't. She was. It was. There's no. She was the
It was
best.
because her presence felt warmth like grandma. That's
Yes.
probably why them two stuck together so tight.
Yes.
Their presence felt warm, and they let
Yes.
me get away with murder. They also put me
Ye-
in fishnet stockings.
At what, 5?
I was 5. Like, guess who was the hottest 5-year-old on Easter Sunday?
With
Me,
fishnet stockings.
fishnet stockings. Okay,
Oh Lord.
but like it was just that gift of like just warmth and love, and like you knew that every interaction you had with them was going to be loving, it was going to be kind,
Yes.
warm. It directly was the opposite of the mean teacher
Yes.
sister. Just like
Yes.
it was almost like she took all the niceness, and it was like this is what
Yes.
I got left.
Yes. We ain't giving you none.
Exactly. So, what was her gift? Do you know? We can't say the gift of mom, the gift of warm.
It is. That's what it was. No, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But you're right. It was almost like it was Mama's twin, and I want to say weren't
A
they like
hundred percent.
because when we went to her house, she made the same foods that Mama made.
Mhm.
You knew that
The
everything was
presents were the same.
yes.
Yes. So
Okay,
although
and
to me grandma looked like the oldest sister, she
yes.
felt like this sister.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, very much so. And I remember when they coded Mama the first time,
Mhm.
and Mama said, I sound like a kid, and Mama said there was all of them that had passed.
Mhm.
And she said she was so happy, they hugged and everything, they were talking. And now, but you have to also think this was like just minutes, you
Mhm.
know. But she said they had sat down and they were singing. She said just everybody was singing, having a good time. She said, and that sister looked at her and she said, it's not your time yet. And Mama was like, what? She said, it's not and she said she could feel herself being
Thank
pulled
you.
back in pain. She said
Mhm.
she could feel all the pain that she had before she
Like
had
the first
passed.
time. Mhm. Mhm.
And she said, and that's what pissed her. She said that's what made her so mad or angry with Daddy, is because they had talked about she didn't want to.
DNR.
Yeah, she didn't want to be coded. She wanted to go, and that's why she didn't talk to him for about a month. She said even when he would come and sit with her the whole time, and she didn't want to talk
She
to
just
him.
be mad.
He was mad at him. Hey, you brought me back. He's like, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. He's like, I didn't do this at all, but you mad at me.
Mhm.
And then everybody sees Grandma Treadaway.
And
Every
see, because I never knew her,
I didn't know her. That
do you
one
see
is
her too?
I I have seen her, but I did not know her. That woman was gone when like my older sister and the first generation of kids, she was
Mhm.
gone before that.
Okay. I was gonna say I have never seen her, so but I don't think I ever will have that connection with her.
She is she is my grandmother's grandmother. Oh no,
Mhm.
she is my
Your
grandmother's.
I thought it was grandma's grandma.
Ugh. It is grandma's grandma.
So your mom's grandma. We you my mama,
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I know I'm your
but you are
mama.
though. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it's grandmama's grandma. Are
Yeah,
you
it's
saying it's
grandma. Yeah, it's
okay?
it's it's my it's your mama's.
By you my mama.
Oh my gosh, it's your grandmother's grandmother.
Okay,
Yes,
so your mom's grandmother.
yes. And
Okay.
you know that to this day, in that small town, she was a midwife.
Hmm.
She holds the record for the most birth for delivering the most children in that city.
How many
Still,
children?
I don't know, but that's what me and one of the first child's daughters were talking about,
Hmm.
that she still holds the record for delivering the most, because she would deliver black and white because she was so
Hmm.
good.
Like this is gonna sound weird, but I've never seen white people in that town.
Yeah. See, that's through a child's eyes because
Well, because whenever we went there, I was only at the family's houses,
you never went to their little Piggly Wiggly.
but I was across the railroad tracks. I didn't even know if that was in the same town. Like again, I'm a child because I go and see all the aunts, and then when we go
Right.
to the railroad track, I'm like, I don't know where we at, but the whole energy is different because it's
And it
literally on
is.
the other side of the railroad
It
track.
is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah, because that is so. That you know what it is. That
Mm-hmm.
is. That is the on the other side of the railroad track is where the stores and everything are at.
Right. correct. So, so
I've
then I'm
never
gonna
seen it
go.
like that.
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with trains. I still am. And so I would always remember every railroad track we went over. So that's why I remember on the other side of the railroad track is Piggly Wiggly.
Okay, all right.
And the one train in the place that you always get stopped at. That one train in the town you get
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Always, always, always. Okay, so then the aunt that hates Bart Simpson, what is her gift?
I don't know, but I know she has something because
Say it, Ma. They ain't gonna watch this no way because they think this is the devil. Yeah.
I know that. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why I say this all the time
Okay.
is because the ones that have the strongest gifts is the ones that everybody think is crazy.
Mm. I know that she had something in her home.
Yes. And because remember when I was when I was pregnant with you, I lived at her home.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
And
interesting.
my mom told me that this is so silly that they had got brand new raincoats.
Hmm.
And one of the the older sisters I think had gotten raincoats, and one of the younger sisters wanted to wear them, and Mama said she was fussing, don't do it, no, you can't touch mine, and or something like that with one of the sisters. And she said that night something, and they had them all hanging up. Mama said something came and was like touching and scratching the raincoats in there.
Mm. Oh, so
And
that was the original house?
yes, that was the original
Oh,
house.
okay.
That was the original house that got torn up
Hmm.
a few years
Yeah.
ago.
See,
But
I didn't like the energy in that house. I would just be like, let me go to the aunt that was my teacher house instead.
yes, yes, let's go to that because and when I was pregnant with you, I promised that I could always cuz they would go to work and the other ones would you go to school and everything else, and I could feel it. I could feel there was something in the house.
Hmm.
And that was the house, you know, back in that room that like it was lower than the rest of the house.
Yes.
That is where grandmama was when she asked to see me. We
Mm-hmm.
came there because she was getting really, really sick. We came there and I was 3. And I remember she asked mama to bring, I want to say me and Denise, because she's gone. Me and Denise in the room, excuse me. But if you've ever smelled cancer when it has eaten outside of
Hmm.
somebody's body, you can smell it. It's like a sweet, and I've never forgot that smell. But it's like a sweet stench, and the room was dark and it was cold. And I remember, but it was also stuffy. And I remember she told Mama, bring them close to the bed so I can see them. And I remember her touching my hand, and Mama told me that she weighed like 76, 80 pounds.
Hmm.
And I just remember being that little chubby girl that I let her touch me, but it was horrifying because I
Hmm.
don't remember her being healthy. All I
Hmm.
remember is her being
Like
sickly, and
sleep. Mhm.
yes, sickly. And I don't even, and honestly, all I can remember is that skinny hand touching me and like running her arm down my
Mhm.
arm and like wanting to touch me and tell me that she loved me.
Oh, and
But
you like, please don't touch me.
exactly.
Because you had a mouth on you, Ma. So I can only imagine grandma probably praying to God you don't open it. Like, please don't say nothing. Please let this be the moment she don't say nothing. Please, Lord. Grandma praying, having the ancestors hold your whole mouth down. Just all of them. Just coming together. Just don't make it. Don't let it happen.
And you know and you know how children are. Okay, so after she touched me, I was ready to go. And so I went out the room, and I remember in my head thinking, I just saw a ghost. I just saw a dead
I
person.
mean,
And she did. She
maybe.
and she died like a day or two later. In my head, in my head as like a three, or I want to say I was 3 or 4 years old, not because she passed in like 1970. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say it was, or it was around that time. But anyway, but I just remember when I walked out the room, in my head I said, I just met a dead person.
And I wonder, so this is me being all like, ooh, I wonder if that's when your gift kicked in.
No, because remember when I told you I saw in our old house? Maybe it was because I don't remember how old I was, but I know I wasn't in school when I was in our old house in Levy County. I didn't know if, but I know I wasn't in school. Daddy would get up and go to work. I would hear the log truck leaving, and then I would leave the bed that I slept with my older sister and go in the bed and sleep and get in mama's bed.
Mm-hmm.
But that morning I got up. It was like like twilight, and or dawn, it would be in the morning. And I saw this lady cooking at our stove, and she had the bun that now it reminds me, I'm like, oh my god, could that have been me? But anyway, she had the
Could have been.
bun. No, she
Mm-hmm.
had the bun in the back of her head, and she was cooking, and I could not really see who was sitting at the end of the table, but somebody was sitting at the end of the table, and they were, you know how when you stir coffee, you hit the sides of the, and
Like
I
to get out, like it's putting you in a trance, that sound, where it's click, click, click.
oh, see, I ain't think about that. See why you had to do that to get
I'm
out.
just, I'm just, I need to make it real for the viewers.
And I laid back down and got underneath my sister pretty much.
They ain't here for me. Just for you.
Hey, cause they, cause, cause the person that was cooking turned around, and I'm gonna tell you what was so funny. Mama had just got a new set of Corel dishes. Back then, that was like whoo whoo whoo, and they were blue and white, and they were using my mama's Corel dishes. That was my
Mm-hmm.
first thing, and so got up the next morning. That person, I want to say, went off to school, and me and mama, I don't remember any other children, so maybe I was young then too. M- but to me it was all about me anyway, cuz
Mm-hmm.
but
So
I
like
know,
you didn't see death at the time. I was talking about like when your gift of death kicked in.
I don't know. I have no clue. But mama
Because I
started
think that could
drawing.
still be the house,
Okay.
the town. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. But mama started drawing pictures, and pictures of she was like, what do they look like? What do they look like? And so when daddy came home that afternoon, he said, who's drawing pictures of my mama?
But his family's presence, I think it's because our family has been in that area since the
The
18.
history.
Yeah, I feel like the family still watches over and protects the land in that area. And I'm
Oh,
wondering if grandma's family does the same thing in that area. Well, they didn't do a good job because a hurricane came.
yes.
But prior to that, so then the two sisters left. Well, the one
Yes.
sister left,
Yes.
the baby sister. What is her gift? Don't say no names, Ma.
I'm not. I You know what? I'm gonna see them this weekend
Okay, you going
because
for?
it's the memorial.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm gonna go this weekend and I'm going to try to tap into and our favorite the favorite aunt,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to be around the son
Mhm. And ask.
and ask him
Okay.
and ask him
Because
because he's very standoffish, and I know that there is something there because he no
I
matter
think
what.
he's spectrumed with me though, ma.
You think that's what it is? I kind of think so too, but to me there's a little bit more because
I
I
mean, I can see him being gifted, but he's definitely spectrum.
okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, I always knew there was something, but I just thought that that was me and him. Me and him, we were always closer than the others, but I
Mhm.
always felt like it was because we were the oddballs.
Yeah, ma. So you still refuse to believe that you're on the spectrum. But do you know research has shown that I want to say it's like 80% of people who have gifts also intersect with being on the spectrum. So and also people who are on the spectrum, I know ma, you not. You just have all the spectrum qualities. If not spectrum, why spectrum shape? That's you, ma. But also they said that people who are on the spectrum have some sort of spiritual gift. And they said
Really?
they see it as more of a sixth sense. They don't realize it's a gift in the beginning of sixth sense. That's literally
Yeah,
the movie.
I can see
But
that.
so I thought that was very interesting. And so there's more research now that's saying that maybe being on the spectrum is not what we thought it was before, and it's actually like the next step in evolution or a type of way of being like having so that your antennas are always open and you don't know how to control like what's coming in.
What comes in? I get
Mhm.
that. I really do. I get that. I get that.
So you said something earlier, and I'm bringing it back because um, we're gonna talk about your sibling that you your oldest sibling. Um, you said those who have the strongest gifts are the meanest, or like mentally maybe
Yes.
edgy is what we'll
Yes.
say. So do you
Yes.
think that your oldest sibling got it from grandma's side of the family or their father's side of the family?
Their father, because their father was more into the dark side.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. I didn't know that their father was into that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So that could also explain grandma's attraction to this person, not because they were dabbling in anything, but just like that we both understand this thing that we both have together.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that was a double dose. I wonder if grandma realized that both of the men she married did have that in their family.
I don't know, but can you be attracted to it
Yes,
without being
because
without
yes.
knowing that you're attracted to it?
So like here, because sometimes like attracts like, and we're all a projection of each other. Excuse me. So the people you bring into your life are a projection of an aspect of you.
Okay.
So even if you are unaware at the time that that's what it is, because Granddaddy never expressed any of it, but his
No.
family littered with it.
Yes.
But then I also wonder how many black families who were successful were also Rudy.
I don't. And what are you doing sounding like Henry Strong? Oh, well.
But everybody gonna know my whole government name was at the bottom, so it's not a secret. And I said we from Otter Creek. We're the only black people that own land in Otter Creek, so it's us, clearly us.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
goodness.
that's what he called his family. That's why I said that. So, but like hoodoo. So like, how many people, like you know what I mean? Old black successful people who
Right.
generationally were successful straight out of slavery. How
Mm-hmm.
many of them practice hoodoo? And I feel like grandmother's side of the family, grandma's side of the family. I don't know if that's grandmother. That's weird. Grandma's side of the family, definitely were the upper crust of their area. Even though they was
Yes.
rough
It
around the
was.
edges, they were known as
Yes.
the fighting sisters. I still feel like they were upper crust.
I will say that besides the mean one, well, no, the younger ones went to college, but they really pushed education
Hmm.
and they
I know
pushed.
grandma didn't go to college. Grandma was great with numbers.
Oh
That's how
my
she probably
gosh.
typed books so well.
That's how I
Great with
learned how to
bargaining.
listen. That's how I learned how to do ghetto math with listening to her.
She was great with numbers. Great with
Yes.
people. So yeah, great with
She missed
writing.
listen, she missed her calling. She missed her calling. If she would have been in this time, she would have been like some kind of big wig because she was amazing with numbers, great with people.
Hmm.
I mean, to this day, if you
Great
talk to
businesswoman. Great with bargaining.
yeah, great. And if
Hmm.
you talk to anybody, even besides us,
Hmm.
everybody would tell you that she always made you feel like you were the only one that mattered.
So that's when you were talking about the cousin who made you feel special. I'm like, grandma was the same person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yes.
you didn't like her, you didn't like her because you was jealous of her. Because she never
Yes.
did anything to make you feel unwanted, unloved, uncared for. Like
Exactly.
it's so funny because Granddaddy would be like, you was her favorite, but then everybody else was like, nah, I was her favorite, and I was like, bro, calm down. I live with her. She was my grandma. Like I just gotta defend like why I was her favorite, but like it's because she made everyone feel so special.
Well, and how about your friends that was always
That's what
like,
I'm
no, but
saying.
that's my grandma. You're like,
Yeah,
no,
because she was
that's
the cat.
really.
Yeah, because being the lunchroom lady, everybody swears that's her grandma. That's their grandma. No, like no, like legitimately, she birthed my mom. So like real talk, that's my grandma. So
Yeah,
and
I
they were like, "Hey,
remember
my grandma too." Calm
I
down.
remember when you were little and you had came home complaining about that. And
Hmm.
she was like, baby, it's okay. It's all right. Some people don't have, grandmas that are around. Some people don't have
They
grandmas.
was just doing the most. They was doing the most.
Stop being
They was
jealous.
doing
Stop
the
being jealous.
most. I was like, y'all doing the
And
most. And
you
then
and
I got
your
older.
brother,
I was like,
listen, you and your brother were ready to fight if they, that's
y'all
my grandma. No, it is not.
can have.
I'm like, oh my God, y'all. Just
And so that's why I wonder if that gift of like that
loving
extra gift of mom, that warmth, is just something genetic, or is
because
it? Go ahead.
believe it or not, the one that I'm going to the memorial this weekend, she
Hmm.
had that when she was younger.
I feel like I definitely got that from her.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And I remember my husband's first experience with the family was we were going to drop you off for that
Mm-hmm.
summer. We
Mm-hmm.
got there and we got there like 3 o'clock in the morning because we left after work, that we probably had worked a double so we could have the weekend off. But we got there at like 3 o'clock in the morning,
It
and
was cooking.
no, she
Oh.
woke up. She woke up and was like, I got this chicken out, and started frying chicken, making biscuits. And he was like, I'm sleepy. I said, well, you're gonna have to eat at least this first
Mm-hmm.
round. And so we ate, sat back and talked. It was about 6 o'clock. We all went to sleep until about 9:30, 10 o'clock, got back up and she was cooking again. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God.
And
He's
that's the
like,
thing. No matter what time you got into that town, somebody was cooking.
somebody
Baby,
was
come
cooking.
over to so and so house. We all cooking over here. We ain't gonna keep y'all up long. Stay up until 5 hours talking. We ain't gonna keep y'all up long. Like I remember that. But like literally, as a kid, we literally went from one house to the other one. Felt like we
Yes.
started at that aunt's house, then
Yes.
went to the aunt house that don't like Bart Simpson, and then we like just went around to the little cul-de-sac area where they was all
Yes.
one over here. Yep,
Yep.
literally the whole town. It was just
Yes.
all family. You could walk down there, but somebody was always driving to the cul-de-sac part of the,
Yes.
where they live.
But
I
wasn't
don't
it
know why. It wasn't
but
even that far.
wasn't it funny how I don't know if you got it, but
Hmm.
to we would walk to the other aunt's house down the
Hmm.
road, and people be like, oh, you must be that daughter. Oh, you must be. I'm just like, how y'all know? Do I look that much like? I always thought I looked like daddy. Oh, you
Because
must.
a lot of other sisters were there. So you
Yes.
the only one not, you know what I mean? So that's how they knew mine.
They were like, "You must be Dot's daughter." I was like, "Dot." But yeah, and it's so funny how if something is going on, they are the family to come to get them to pray for you.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, no matter what, they are the family to go to pray for you.
Mhm.
They were the lifeline of that church there because can I say his name because he's dead?
Yeah.
Okay, Reverend Hagan was mama's parents preacher. I remember him around until I was maybe like 8 or 9,
Mhm.
but like they were the ones that kept that church going.
And they did a great job because I used to go there for Easter sunrise service and
Oh,
listen to
it
the
was
sister
on.
sing. Yes. And then the one time they had that choir come from New York to sing Kirk Franklin, the whole church was rocking. Like when I tell you we was in there so deep, and it was your stereotypical small church.
Yes.
But we were in there so thick and so deep. And one of the beautiful things I loved is no one was jealous at this choir.
No.
It was like, oh my God, like tell us more. We gotta learn these songs. We're gonna be singing them next. And me and grandma was like, we're gonna only go to churches that sing Kurt Franklin. Like this is our game plan going forward. We need to know how they praise and worship. If they don't got instruments, we're not going to their church. Like that was me and grandma from that moment. But like when everyone to Easter sunrise service there, it was all the sisters. Whenever they all got
Especially
together, everybody was like, "Y'all got to sing at least one song."
when they got all the old sisters
Mhm.
together. Listen, I know it sounds funny, but you know she had that really deep voice, very
Mhm.
deep voice like mine that I never, to me, I didn't learn how to hone it like they did because they used to actually sing and travel. But I remember I was 11 years old. I went there, and when they said, "Oh, we got all of them here, we,
Mhm.
Dot is in town. We got to get y'all up here for it." Okay, so I'm just like, don't they know how my mama sound? My mama got a real deep voice. What? Not even thinking
They all go together, ma.
that.
All
Oh
four
my
go together.
gosh! And
Mhm.
she said her dad taught them to harmonize.
I can believe that.
So anyway, so they get up there and they start singing. I promise you, at 11, I knew she could sing like normal with us, that we
Mhm.
harmonize. But when she sang with her sisters
Mhm.
at 11 years old, it brought tears to my eyes.
Listen, you already know me. I was little, saying, "All right, let them use you." I'm like 5. What do I know about being used? Like, what is going on? That's how you know I grew up in the church. I was in it. I was like, yes, hands up, feeling in my little patent leather shoes. Come on now, somebody talk to him. My little knee highs on.
But
Let
I
him.
remember that song they sung, and her and the one the one of the oldest favorite aunts, they sung. List, I know it's probably not the name of it, but the verse in it says, "It causes me to tremble."
Hmm.
And
And that's when
her,
the voice go lower.
yes,
Yes, I know what you're talking
and
about.
it causes me
It's
to
almost like the bass.
tremble. And
Hmm.
I looked up, that said, listen, I heard her and that aunt doing that. I got big old tears. I said, my mama could sing. And
Hmm.
one of the cousins was sitting by me. They said, you ain't know your mama could sing? I said, not like that.
Hmm.
And when she came and sat down, I hugged her and she's like, well, I said, Mama, you can sing. And she looked at me. I said, I didn't know you could sing. Like, she's like, we used to travel and sing.
Hmm. Also, listening to Grandma sing with her birthday twin from Levy County,
Yeah.
those two voices together. Ma, what you doing? Those two voices together. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yes.
Yes. Them two
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Sick. Gag. Like, and that's what when our former pastor, he did, but I ain't gonna say his name, was like, girl, you just sitting up there, you just smile and clap. That's all I could do. Cause when them two voices was together, what am I here for? I
Yeah,
am Kirk Franklin. That is
You the
it.
hype person.
Right. I was just a hype girl. That's it. And I was like, I'm just here for the show. I just wanted the best seat in the house, though. That's all.
Listen, I totally get, because when they would get together, and that's why whenever, and it broke. All right, so you know that when I married my husband, I wanted them to sing at my wedding, but there's just like, oh, that's a white man, so. But when they sang at my mama's funeral,
I have that on the SD card somewhere.
really,
I
they
do.
done gave me a song. They said we gonna sing this weekend. I got to learn real quick.
Mhm.
But
Have somebody recorded.
huh?
Have David recorded.
They sent me a recording. Oh, David record
Or
the
y'all
CD.
singing. Yeah.
Okay, but there is something special about them. Let's get back on. There is something special about them because it's like wherever they go and they touch something,
Mm-hmm.
people remember them for being great singers, great prayer warriors, great.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something that follows them. I mean, think Grandma Treadaway has been dead for at least 100 years, possibly. I mean, okay, let's say if she lived until the 50s, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not quite 100, but
No, it's like 75 years.
yeah, this to this day, that family still talks about her like she just passed last year.
We're the same way with grandma don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, and
She's
I
been going 15 years.
I know, and it's just so hard to believe.
It is. It really is. It really is.
And you know that whenever I would work anywhere, like when I went to the cancer center, the first thing people would say, "Oh my gosh, you're Dorothy's daughter." And like hug me and say, I feel safe now that I know that you're here. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they're like, she talked about you all the time. What a good nurse she was. I was like, really? My mom said, you I mean, and I, and so there would be like 4 or 5 women that had worked with her that would, whenever they came in, they wanted me to draw their blood, or they wanted me to give them a hug, or it's like they have something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just not a human or personal. I think it's more than that. I think it's a spiritual thing.
I can see that. And so the reason I always say that, I tell people like my grandma taught me what could be considered witchy stuff. Um, so I'm just gonna go through like a list of the things that we were taught that is considered witchy, and like other people be like, that's fake, right? I'm like, no, it's really
No,
not.
it's not.
So like the getting a fresh egg, putting it in a brown paper bag and hanging it.
Write your
Oh,
name
right.
all over it.
Okay. Then put it in a bag and hanging it over the door that the child who is teething is going in and out of the most.
Yeah, and it makes teething easier. Makes
Hmm.
it less painful for the child.
Yes. And if someone said like, well, don't it smell? It does not. It does not smell at all. And in fact, the egg is going to be hollow when you open it.
Yes.
So, so there's that one. And then grandma used to say, whenever there was a full moon and you had just combed your hair, normally we would burn it because you don't want nobody to have access to your hair.
Right.
But on a full moon, she would say, what you want to do is you want to bury the hair under, like where the drippings from the house come down, and make like a little like, like if you live in a house where it's like it makes like a little ditch almost, you want to bury the hair there and help your hair grow. Stuff like that. Like it was just these random things, but like I realized we don't realize that these are all hoodoo practices because they're just part of the black community. So like burning
Well,
your hair, huh?
this and still to this day, if I don't burn my hair, I will flush it down the toilet
Mm.
because I do not want anybody touching my hair.
I already told that no one has power over me. Anything that leaves my body, hair, nails, all of that. But if I am
Mhm.
in public, I will put my hair, my nails, and my purse and throw it out when I get.
Yes. I will put
Like
it
I'm
in my
either like,
pocket. Listen, I will
mm-hmm,
put it in my pocket.
like we'll see this at the house. But yeah.
We'll take care of this later. Or this is the thing that got me, and did not know that she had been doing this my whole life. You were sick, and we came down here because if I had to work, I had to work. And
Mm-hmm,
she said, "Don't worry, I'll make sure." She said, "When you come back to get her on Sunday or Monday, whenever it was," she said, "You wouldn't be sick anymore, or you wouldn't have that fever."
mm-hmm.
And so that next day, I called to check on you from work, and she said, "Oh, that fever gone." And I said, "Ma, what did you do? How did you do it?" She said, "You get a pie pan, fill it halfway full of water, and put
Put
it
it under
under
the
her
bed.
bed. But whoever you doing it to, they can't know that you put that pie pan there."
That's classic hoodoo. Because what it is that a lot of people say like the sickness is like a spirit that can be drawn out of the body, but the person can't know what's under there. Like classic hoodoo. And so that's why I always talk about how like my grandma and I we used to play in our church. Like Friday night we hitting this up, Saturday night we doing this, Sunday night we doing this. But I always wonder like if her family was able to fully embrace hoodoo, would they have? And hoodoo does utilize Christian element, but I feel like the family, the original, like her grandmother, her mom, leaned heavily more into the hoodoo than the Christian element.
I I want to say for this little woman, because she said that Grandma Treadaway was, to me in my head, I feel like she was like the root of it,
Mhm.
because this little woman had a place in Savannah,
Mhm.
and she would, whenever times would get rough for her grandchildren or her daughter, I want to say maybe it was her, she would come she would come to their town or come to their home and stay there until everything calmed down. Or if she thought it was what was too much, she would take them back to Savannah to her place. But
Mhm.
you think back then, and they said she was like very high yellow. They said she was the color of the one I'm going to her memorial.
Mhm. You think
And, huh?
you think that one is very high yellow?
She was. You got
Mhm.
to look at old pictures. The
Okay.
older she got, and the more medicine she took, the darker she got.
Okay.
But they said she was very bright skinned.
Mhm. But I thought
And
that did we not discover that was Irish root?
yes, but you know that
Irish and indigenous.
one of her, the husband that she married but didn't have children from, it's so funny because one of the cousins I talked to, she remembers him.
Mhm.
And she said he was it a desperado? He used to carry two white pistols on his hip,
Mhm.
and they had pearl handles.
Oh wow.
And
He was doing at Don.
yes, he he was he was practically white. He
Mhm.
had wavy blondish looking hair with blue eyes, but like a creamy
Probably
color.
Irish.
And that's what I figured. Probably Irish.
Mhm.
And they lived in Savannah.
Mhm.
But she midwifed all over as far as she could go.
Mhm.
And that was her thing. And people really didn't have a lot of money, so they'd give you $5, two chickens, some eggs, so
He
she,
made a killing in eggs today.
you know
Whew.
what. So so I really think that and especially since she still visits, I
Mhm.
really think that she is like the last true.
Mhm.
I don't know what
Look
you'd call.
at the last tree because I'm gonna pick it up too, man.
You gonna be midwifing?
Oh God, not that part. I was talking about the hoodoo era, not the midwifery. I don't.
No, but this is how I feel. I really wish they would have embraced it more so we could have learned more.
But I feel like a lot of Black cultures got rid of a lot of it because it wasn't Christian enough, because it was frowned on in the Christian church. Because
Well,
even grandma did, I don't feel like she taught us, ooh. And well, the other one I think is proven to work now, but like whenever you get a burn, put mustard on it.
yes.
I remember I got a big burn here. That's on rubbing here. Where Rodney was like, "You tried to kiss a light bulb?" No, I was leaning over. The lamp didn't have
Because
the shade on it. I was trying to pull his bump, and I leaned over and I had the lamp here because I was holding it close, and then all of this got burned. And so God
well
put all
you
that mustard on it.
well you know why he said that, cuz he was leaning over close to a light and actually burned his face, and we always say he was trying to kiss a light bulb.
Okay, so that's why he said it. No, I was not trying to kiss the light bulb. She put some mustard on it, and it was good.
Okay, you want to hear this? And it's probably just, and this isn't, it's just old stuff. Do you know that if you had an open wound, they would cut a thin slice of fat back and put it on your wound,
Oh, nice.
and the salt and everything would draw the poison or whatever out of your arm, the infection.
Good to know.
And now they have a dressing that has the same qualities and purities that
That
had. Yes.
because a lot of
and
the things. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
and also, that if you got like a really bad cut, because a lot of
Spider web.
black people didn't go to doctors to get stitched up. They
Mm-hmm.
would put a spider web,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, it would clean it too.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of these are one from African cultures that we brought over
Yes.
here, but also two from slavery that we
Yes.
maintained. And that's one of the beautiful things, and that's why hoodoo is a closed practice for African Americans only, because of it was the ways in which we combined African culture with what we had over here as slaves with Christianity, which we had to adapt to survive. And so like that's that beautiful thing where we get all of these things mixed together, which sucks that we've lost so much of it because it's not Christian enough. So like,
I
go ahead.
I think that you and I, on one of our weekends, we need to go to the Gullah Island.
I agree. I agree because I wonder. I know Granddaddy's family is Gullah Geechee, but his grandma.
I don't know. I just know that the first time I ever heard of anybody say talk about Geechees was there in where Mama's from.
Okay.
Be- because and they
But
would
Granddaddy's whole family spoke Geechee, ma.
and so did Mama's.
Okay, so they probably both. They probably yeah.
Because I must say it, because this man been dead. He been dead forever. His name was Andrew. I don't even know what his real name was, but
Mm-hmm.
we used to call him Andrew D. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
it's probably Andrew D. I don't
Mm-hmm. It's
know.
probably his last name.
Yeah, so we used to call him Andrew D, and he spoke straight Geechee.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would be sitting there like, and he'd be, and I was like, you know, trying to hit, because everybody would be laughing. I'm like, y'all heard what he's, what is he saying? Because y'all laughing. And I know that Mama used to say, they would be talking about him and they'd be like, that Geechee, and he was related to them.
Okay. Okay.
And I know that after we did like our first thing, I was, how something, you probably Google listening to us or whatever, but I was, where I do my best thinking at, sitting on the toilet. But anyway,
I'll do.
it pulled up Gullah,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening, and people were talking, doing like the talking, and this one woman there, she said, I am trying to keep.
The language alive.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because my beautiful daughter bought me a Bible, she was reading a passage from the Bible. The
Now, isn't that when you hear it out loud, you can understand it completely?
Yes.
So reading it, you may not always, but once you read it aloud, you're like, oh.
Yes. Yes. And that's when you know that those bits and pieces that you grew up hearing,
Hmm.
that's what, when you know what I'm saying, when you hear it, you're
And I
like,
will even
I
say
grew up hearing this.
dating someone who is Igbo and speaks
Yes.
Igbo and their Geechee language sounds very much like our Geechee language.
Shut up. Really?
True story. True story. And that's wild to me. So that's why I'm like still connected. And I wish we would have carried on more. But even I'm watching, well, it's already happened. They're extremely colonized as well. And I'm like, you are losing so much you don't even know it. Like here we are, talking about all the things that we wish we would have known more of. Like we would have wished we would have had more of Grandma's Treadaway's knowledge, and she didn't write it down
Yes.
anywhere, and that we know of. But like y'all are actively getting rid of, this right here. But this is a way. This podcast is a way of us keeping those stories so that generations to come will hopefully have them and be like, I know exactly who they talking about. They talking about Aunt so and so, but it's because
Yes.
of hopefully this that someone in our family will years later when they do genealogy they'll have this to be like we know exactly who that was and we know who this was
Okay, so this is my question to you.
and
Is it pigeon or is it Geechee?
so it's basically considered both because they say that it is a pigeon of multiple languages coming together which equals Geechee. So Geechee is its own type of English but it's a pigeon of multiple languages coming together,
Okay.
and that's kind of
Because
like the thing with AAVE.
okay. Because I know that subteat, something to eat, and
Mm-hmm.
tender peanuts that I remember. Was it you and Brand, or is it me and Rodney? That was Miss, our next door neighbor. She
Like
is
you said
like,
her name.
anyway, she
Said,
was like, look over there in that corner. It's a bag of pendles. It was my brother.
mm-hmm.
And
I
he
can see
said,
Rodney a bag of pandas. Is she trying to say penises? I can just see
no, he
Rodney.
was like, I don't see it. Boy, it's right there. It's right over there. What, you blind or something? I don't see nothing.
And she definitely spoke pigeon, like geese
Yes.
to the core. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the other day when I was like, when the first thing that came to my head was Bastille,
Oh my gosh.
I was like, Deceiver, get out of there. Don't do that. I'm at the airport in Asia. Don't do that. But that Bastille, we was like, what is a Bastille? Calling me Dan Tadell? She ain't never said my name a day in her life. A day in her life. And that was okay. Because I knew that I could go over there and buy some cookies. So,
But I know that she, I don't know if she was Rudy, but I know that she knew Rudy people.
mm-hmm. I would not doubt that she was simply because of her side profession.
And I know that our cousin that lived down the road that said she owed her money,
Mm-hmm.
I know that she had a little bit of root in her.
Is that how she got all them pennies? Because who was giving her these pennies?
And she had all the moles on her too. So who knows?
Ooh, look at that. Look at God bringing it all back together. God was like, but also, did you know that she also was a mole lady? That's
And that house smelled like mothballs to the 10th
through
hour.
and through.
Anything you got, taste, smelled, look.
Don't take you. There's one of you had to eat it there. She used to give us oatmeal. We can't take the oatmeal out because you take it out, it tastes like mothballs. You got to eat it
Yes,
in the house.
in the house.
Yes.
She would give us stuff, and you know how we had to walk back from our
Mm-hmm.
house. We would throw it in the woods because
You had to.
because it tastes so horrible.
That's why. But if you
Like
eat it in the house, it
mothballs.
don't taste bad because
Is
the
that
whole
what
house
it
is
is?
mothballs. So now you get the authentic flavor of whatever it's supposed to be. The moment you take it outside of the house, mothballs.
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 And she'd be like, "Here, let me give y'all." We were like,
Just give me the money. Just give me the 32 cents, please. That's all I need. Just the 32 cents to go give him
And
some
that's what she used to do to my brother. She would have him like, because when
come
she
over light
take
the pilot.
that and to bring firewood in her house.
Mm.
And she would like hand him a handful of pennies.
Mm-hmm.
It was
32 cents.
like, and then we would go down the road to the Hugheses, and that's where they would have penny cookies,
Mm-hmm.
and you could get,
It wasn't that like that. We weren't living
huh?
that like we didn't have no penny cookies.
No, they had like big old, you know how, no, they had big containers of Tom's cookies. It would be like 6 or 7 big things of Tom's cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And each cookie in there would cost a dollar. I mean a penny. And we would give a 10 cent, and you know how I look. I want two of them, and
Mm-hmm.
no, one of them. And I bet them people was like, leave me the hell alone. And then a pig foot was like a quarter, 35 cent to a quarter.
It was worth it. A pickle Bigfoot?
Oh my gosh.
That is showing
Listen,
her country our mind.
but I will tell you this, that whenever we would walk down that road in front of the two sisters' houses,
Mm-hmm.
you would feel warmth in some places.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't
that's
know.
why I think it's generational. Like the ancestors walking with you.
And when I go this weekend, I am going to walk down, not at night,
Why not?
but I don't know. I don't, because none of them live there no more. You think it's still there?
The ancestors' energy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay,
like
I'll walk.
they go where we go. The ancestors
Okay.
look me in Thailand.
Because I know that when I was a little kid, I loved to walk down that road because there would be warm, like really warm patches.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, we didn't go there a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
in my heart I felt like that place was the most love
Mm-hmm.
compared to where we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't know, yeah, it was the most love,
Mm-hmm.
because no matter what, there was always some food. Oh, girl, we made that last night. Go on here, and it wasn't no microwaves, or they couldn't
In the
afford
oven.
microwave.
Warm it up. 350. 20
Yes,
minutes. Mm-hmm.
yes, and
So
that's how it
throw that on the
was.
stove. Put it on medium real quick. Throw a little bit of more water in the pot.
Yes, that's it. That is it.
That
And
was the
they
answer
all,
to all the stuff.
and yes, they all had leftovers. They always had, and it didn't matter how many children were in the house. There was always leftovers for you. And if
Mm-hmm.
they, oh my gosh, I know this is nothing to do with paranormal, but them women, I've never, and it's not but diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
but those women made the best jelly cakes in the world.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And they would make them really
Oh,
thin.
listen, that trifle they used to make, the strawberry trifle, it's like a punch
Yes.
bowl cake.
Oh my gosh.
I only went to family reunion for that cake. I love them, but also that punch
The-
bowl cake, that's why I was there every year. And 1 year someone didn't make it. I was so distraught. I was like, how did they not make it? They knew I was coming. And grandma was like, baby, that's not why they was making it. It was for me. I was like, but they knew we were coming. They was like, I know. But like that was that cake. It was like a strawberry trifle called a punch bowl cake. I live for that thing.
and you was upset. You was like, I ain't coming back unless they make it again.
But like they quit having family reunions.
Yeah, because we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Uh-oh.
But
Okay.
anyway, anywho, but they I'm gonna tell you what the majority, not the mean one, but what their majority love language was: cooking.
Mhm. Mhm. But
Cooking
I feel
and
like that hasn't changed even with you and I and
no,
with
no,
Auntie niece. Like it was very
no,
let me feed you, baby. But is that just old black women?
no, because even their children cook like your age.
Ma, we are kind of old black women.
Damn. Okay. I just think I think it's okay in my head, and it could be wrong. I just think it is, you know how the women get in the house, in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and they cook and they tell stories.
Yep.
They tell stories and they pass down, oh, this, this is how my mama used to roll this, or this is how my mama used to, I think that is a big part of what they're, I mean, it may not be like a spiritual gift, but there is love that goes in that food.
Mm-hmm. And you can taste the love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember when your friend from school, when I used to make you breakfast in the morning, and he told his mama, talking about your food don't taste like my food, didn't taste like his mama food, and you said because my mama cooked mine with love, and he went back
Mm-hmm.
and asked his mama.
To the point where his mom was just like, just can y'all please just keep sending him turkey bacon because he said mine don't taste the same, even though it's the same brand.
And it was so funny.
Mhm.
She said, if he come and tell me that your food got love in it and mine don't, I said, I'm so sorry. I am so
That's
sorry.
hilarious. It's just hilarious. So yeah. Okay. So
But
after this weekend, let me know
I
what other
will.
things you find out about.
Okay.
And we can add those to when we talk about I ain't even talk about my gifts yet, so we're gonna do that in a different episode anyway. And how
Okay.
I'm over here collecting gifts like Pokemon. Just gotta catch them all, because they're out there. Why not? But we can add that into when we talk about other history, or even when we talk about. Let me look and see what the next episodes are actually.
While you're looking, I want to tell you something that I asked my brother.
Okay.
I said, do you think that, I said, in the Bible where they said that God gave people talents?
Mhm.
And I said, so do you think that our gift is a talent? He said, yes. I said, so you think that we should, I said, so we need to be using this talent. He said, of course.
And then what did he say about his own gifts and talents that he don't be using?
He's using it more. Can I tell you a little secret what I think my brother is?
Hmm.
My brother is like a modern day Noah. My brother has gotten a RV that's big enough to hold, he said, the people he care about.
Mm.
He has a generator that runs off of solar.
Hmm.
He said he is buying DVDs. He said because if anything happens, we will at least be entertained.
Hmm.
And he said his meat and stuff that he is getting, he said he's going to make sure that he has, because you know that you can also put meat in the river and it'll stay because of it's cool, but he said he's going to get something that is able to hold enough food beside us all. He said but they're going to be constantly hunting, but
Hmm.
he's getting everything. He's getting seeds. He's doing all of that.
As he should. As he should.
And
So
and most people would think that that is a form of craziness, but I
not in
honest
this environment.
but I honestly think that he is, and I told him, I said, you are modern day Noah. I
Hmm.
said, you feel like people use you or that you're being used. I said, but you're playing, I said, you're preparing for something. I said, and you've been talking about this for the last 2 or 3 years.
Hmm. I mean, mom, because everywhere has been telling us for the past decade that this we need to be ready. So, I mean, this isn't. That's why I started learning different planting and different other talents like making my own breads and learning how to sew because we gonna need all of that
Yeah,
if we stay in this country. Which you know me, I'd be ready to leave every day. So,
I
but if
know.
if we do stay, we're gonna definitely need those gifts. And even in our girl group, so this is kind of off topic, but even in our friend group of the girls, the triplets and the other girls, we all know what everyone can do should we need to call on just each other.
But in your girl group, do you feel like everyone will everyone will be a part of it?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because it's the triplets and two others.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So yeah. So we may have to go back and revisit some of the topics we have because we've discussed them in some of these, because for our next episode we have talking about the family home. Well, I haven't told my experience in a family home. We've heard your experience. So, but I think there's still more to add to the family home, but that is also a great place where you can add into the conversation of what you find from next week.
Okay.
So we can add that to the list.
So why
Um,
don't we just blend both of the families next week?
we can do that. So family home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And while I'm there, like I said, I'm gonna use my gift from Dorothy. I'm gonna use the picking gift.
Get all the information.
Yes,
Okay.
because I will have the remaining sisters and the cousins that are older that would be able to give me some info.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So everyone who stuck with us, this is a longer episode.
I'm
We didn't mean for it
sorry.
to go to song. No, that's not a bad thing. We didn't mean for it to go to song, but we started talking, and as you can tell, we are invested in our family. We're invested in the energy of the family, the love, and everything that they have left behind for us to enjoy about them. So clearly, we're still in it. But for anyone watching, although this has a really great energy, just in case you're like, I don't want none of that stuff to be following me with that hoodoo and stuff. We're gonna take a moment to go ahead and have you go ahead and clear your brain, and we're gonna ask that the deity in which you follow, or deities, that they make sure that anything that has been discussed in this conversation does not attach itself to you, does not come to you in a way that you are uncomfortable with, that you leave here with the energy you came with, nothing else, nothing more, and that we keep our own energy with us as well. So thank you for this episode, and we will see you next week.